Oh no. Oh no. Hey everyone, I'm Shaun Stevenson, author of the Throne series. And yikes. Yikes. That is about all I can say about this book I just finished reading. So let's talk about it. The book is none other than The Berenstain Bears and the School Scandal Sheet by Stan and Jan Berenstain. Now, this is one of the big chapter books in the Berenstain Bears series and kind of multiple series of all the different kinds of books they have, from the Berenstain Bear Scouts to the picture books and board books, all those sorts of things. This is the big chapter book. So these are chapter books. They're usually like 100 pages. They're short, they have a lot of pictures, and they're pretty easy reads. However, sometimes these books try to tackle topics that I don't think they should. For instance, case in point, I recently reread The Berenstain Bears and the Drug-Free Zone, and that book, I will just say, you can watch my review of that book, but I will just say that book had some content in it that I thought, what's the reading level of this book? Oh, reading level 3rd grade? Yeah, no, this book is not for 3rd graders. Like, what are we doing here? That book definitely had a character who was actually on drugs, a child in the world of Berenstain Bears, who was on drugs and crashes their bike into a car. And this book has an equally scandalous moment in it, hence the name of the book, The School Scandal Sheet. Now, this series and I have a long relationship because I actually got this series a long time ago when I was a kid. The first book I got when I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade, and I bought all of these. I would get them from the library. I loved reading these. I read this one. I used to have a copy of this one. And then I was my choice, but I sold them all at a yard sale. And then I have been recollecting them actually because I had such nostalgic feelings about them. And so I really wanted to get them again and reread them because I wanted to see how do they hold up. Well, this book does not hold up. I cannot recommend this book. I'm just going to tell you from the outset. And I definitely do not think kids should read this one. What's this book about? Why am I in such a mode right now? Because normally I'm so positive and happy, and this is just not it. So this book, it kind of, like, the back matter spoke to me because this book is about a journalism class. Now, I was the journalism nerd in high school. I loved journalism class. I took it all 4 years of high school that I could. I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. A couple of years I got to be the editor of the school newspaper, and I really loved doing it. It was a lot of fun. So that's definitely something that's like nostalgic to me and speaks to me quite a bit. And in this book, the Cubs are all signing up for their extracurricular classes, and they get to sign up for 3, and they hope to get the one that they want the most. And a bunch of them get to be in journalism. This one is run by a journalism teacher named Miss Glitch, and she has a very strong opinion about how the school newspaper should be written and run. And that is by doing very nice, very safe stories that are actually not very fun either, though. Like, you can do safe and nice journalism stories and make them fun and exciting, but she is like, let's cut the sports page. Let's not do this. Let's not do that. Let's do this thing and this thing and this thing. And she has like pretty much an opinion about what they need to write when the Cubs had come into class thinking, oh, we can have all these ideas and write these things down. Well, the Cubs decide to create their own newspaper because they're thinking, we want freedom of the press and we want to be able to talk about what we want to talk about. So they make their own newspaper, and unfortunately, a quite scandalous story, in fact, a slanderous, libelous, possibly illegal story, gets put into the school underground newspaper. Now, I feel like I need to go into some spoilers here to talk about this. So I'm going to say in a moment when I'm going into the spoilers, but if you're here right now without the spoilers, let me just tell you, I don't recommend this book. I don't think that this is one that is an appropriate subject for kids to read. And if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, you'll have to stay for the spoilers, unfortunately. If you want to read this on your own, see what you think, go for it. However, like I said, I don't really recommend it. So we're going to be going into spoilers now. So if you do not want spoilers for this book, check out of this video now, because now I'm about to go into the spoilers. So here we go. Spoiler territory live. Here's the deal. In this book, Queenie is one of the cubs, and she wants to write a gossip column. And so she's looking for that juicy gossip piece that she can put into her gossip column. Brother Bear is the editor of the newspaper, and he's actually already looked at everything in the newspaper, including Queenie's gossip column that she had, and he approved everything. He thought, yeah, this is all good, this is all great. Well, Queenie, last minute, sees something. She sees one of the teachers at the school on a date, it appears, with a teenaged cub. I'll just tell you right now, that's not the situation. The situation is it's a teacher with his niece who had come into town, and they were going out to dinner just for fun. And unfortunately, Queenie writes up the story as the teacher is dating a teenager. Now, that is a storyline that could be tackled in a YA book and above, in my opinion, because you would be able to go into the nuance of this and be able to talk about, like, why was this a bad thing to do? Why was this not a good thing to actually investigate? And you could talk about the press and talk about, getting freedom of ideas and all these sorts of things. This 100-page book that's really, like, let's say 70 pages because of all the pictures, that is written for third graders, cannot deal with all that nuance. And so you have a situation where it's stated that this was a bad thing to put into the school newspaper, but you can't go past that. You can't talk more about what is being said in this gossip column about this situation. And it raises so many red flags and so many things that you just can't quite discuss because you don't have the space for the nuance. And so I feel like while this book was trying to have a message of you have to be careful, you have to investigate what you're seeing, you have to figure out what the truth is behind something instead of just running with the first thing you think is going on. And I think that is actually a timely message for a day of social media when a lot of people, read a headline and then they surmise a bunch of things about that headline and decide to make a big post about it. That post gets shared all over the place and then information gets spread. Here's the thing. That's a great topic for young adults and adults. That's not a great topic for third graders. I think, and especially in this way, I kept thinking about it and I thought, this would have been better if they wanted to go at this angle of like Queenie seeing something that she didn't quite understand what was going on and she guessed at what was happening to create a gossipy moment. Would have been better for something like maybe the coach at the sports team was seen with a bag of money and she thinks that he's stealing it because he takes it to his car. That would have been a better kind of thing where it's like turns out that he was taking the fundraiser funds to the bank and he was the only one who was able to do it. That's a totally different kind of scenario that would be much more appropriate for this age level book. As this book stands, I do not think this is actually very appropriate for kids. I think it's a big mistake. I actually do think it's a mistake. In fact, I think this is so much of a mistake, I'm not even rating this book because I don't think I can. I can't recommend it. And unfortunately, that's what happens in this book. It's really unfortunate because, like I said, I think there's a good idea of a story and a message here. It's just the plot point that was chosen to try and purvey it was a mistake. It really was. It was a mistake. So that's unfortunately my review of the Berenstain Bears and the School Scandal Sheet. Have you read this one? What do you think? Now, I will just say, if the comments on this video get out of hand, I will delete them. So I try to keep a positive place, and especially with books like this, with its nostalgic books, I try to be open and honest about them and share, like, here's what's going on in this book, especially when they have issues like this. And I think that's important to talk about, especially when we're going back reading these old-time books where things were put into books that were not appropriate then and are not really appropriate now. So it's a tricky subject, I will fully admit. So please be nice in the comments, have a discussion, that's totally fine, but please keep it positive if possible. So thanks for listening, and until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye.